with Kenzie Taylor, and since with it being the spooky season right now, do you have a favorite horror movie at all?
I do, actually. Horror is my favorite genre.
Same.
The Halloween series is my favorite, but
Nice.
also lately I really have been into Terrifier 1, 2, and then I just seen 3.
Yeah.
So
I
that
didn't see
series-
it yet, so no spoilers.
I won't. It's amazing.
Oh, good.
That's all I'll say.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Would you say out of like horror movie, it correlates and goes along with like also sex, and it's like bad taboo. But would you say would a horror movie, like, do you have like a favorite preferred sex scene in a horror movie?
Favorite preferred sex scene?
If you've ever thought about it.
I've never thought about that, actually. I do like on Friday the 13th and the newer one where they're in the tent.
Yeah.
And it's getting pretty hot and heavy, and that girl's pretty hot.
Yeah, I agree.
And then she ends up being like hung in the sleeping bag
Oh,
and
yeah.
burned over the fire.
I mean, I was just
Pretty
going to say
gnarly.
the same thing. Any of the Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
I think they're like some of the most fun and campy spookiness you could ever have in a movie.
Yeah.
So, this is more like a serious question, and I've asked a bunch of other girls around here. But I noticed within the industry, there's been somewhat of a problem where maybe like with some newcomers are not as much well aware what they're getting into, and then maybe sometimes they bite off more than they can chew, and maybe they're not going down the right route or getting involved with the wrong people.
Yeah.
So how would you say you could maybe make it a little bit better, maybe a little bit more safe for those people?
What could I do personally, or what advice could I give?
Whatever you feel. I would say advice.
I would say advice for anyone new. First off, what we do is always out there forever. So really making sure that you're comfortable with your decision and recognizing that everyone you know, no matter who it is going to find out what you do. There's no hiding it.
Right.
And once it's out there forever.
Yeah.
So knowing that, and then also it's hard because each person is so different. We all think differently and have different perceptions of things.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of give advice on that aspect of things, but trusting anybody is hard in general. But I feel like as long as your intentions are good and you're respectful to others, then that's what you're going to get in your life for the most part.
Right.
So just remaining respectful and positive, and just work really hard, and don't pay attention to any of the noise, and don't pay attention to any of the negativity on social media. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. I definitely think social media is maybe influencing people too much, like where they feel like they need to be a certain standard. Or
it's very toxic.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, I guess like another problem is like, how do you also help people coming in, but like try and stay away from like substance abuse? And I know some people actually struggle with suicide as well.
Yeah. Well, I actually used to struggle with that. I'm gonna have 7 years clean and sober in December.
That's great.
And what I would say regarding addiction and trying to get sober and all of that stuff, someone is only going to get sober if they want to be. No one can force them to be. And if you're trying to get sober and you're doing it for someone else or for something in particular other than to save your own life, it's not going to work out. It has to be what you want to do, and you have to want to save your own life. You have to be willing, and you have to just not worry about what anybody thinks and just focus on yourself. So, and as far as depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, or harm attempts at suicide, I understand that as well. I've been through that. I would just recommend, even though it's hard, talking to someone. And if you can't afford weekly therapy, there's so many options out there, but especially in our industry, there's a company called Pineapple Support.
Okay.
And they will help anyone. You just reach out to them, and I think they even have a way where you can get help for free. So
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, or even if it's not free, I know that it's like very affordable, like extremely affordable. So
even if you gotta get like something off your chest, or even just something to talk to.
Yes, yes,
that's
and
great.
it's somebody that's non-biased because they don't know you, they don't know anybody you know.
Right.
So you don't got to worry about offending someone or whatever.
So I'm relatively like an old soul, I guess you could say. Like I'm more of a millennial.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I act
same.
more like a boomer more than anything.
Yeah.
But would you feel more like younger generations? I guess they're considered like the Zoomer generation, that they're having like maybe less sex, or would you say that maybe more? Because I feel like sometimes they're not necessarily like maybe like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And not knowing how to perceive things.
It's weird because I kind of feel like a 50-50. Like I feel like, yes, I understand what you're saying about feeling weird or like awkward in a sense, because the social media is so huge.
Yep.
So a lot of people are just kind of like texting and hiding behind their phones, and they're on social media, and it's just this hype of like seeing this person and all these things but never doing anything. And then there's another sense where there is a lot of stuff out there, like for example, OnlyFans, that's very accessible.
That's what
people
I've been hearing.
People have Snapchat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to get a hold of porn and watch it, and to sext one another and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I also think that is an influence in a way to
But
others.
do you feel like there's a slight disconnection there, though?
I feel like it's a 50-50. Like yes, but no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, this is more like my personal question, but would you bang a dude in a wheelchair?
Absolutely.
Work with a guy in a wheelchair?
Absolutely, yes.
Sometimes I feel like, some people could be a little judgmental. They'll be like, I don't know. They'll look at me. Even I'm used to it because I'm comfortable in my own skin, but I get looks 24/7.
Yeah.
But I don't care at the end of the day.
I love your confidence, and that makes you even more sexy.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's my intention.
I definitely would, and I feel like anybody, whether they're in a wheelchair or they have a cane or crutches or maybe an amputee, someone like that, I think that no matter what, like you're still a person,
definitely.
and your disability doesn't define you, who you are.
Yep.
So
I definitely agree with that.
yeah.
And there's like a lot of people that even I worked with personally because I served in the military.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Thank you for the support. But dealing like with depression, and then they just sometimes when they come back, they just don't know how to interact with people, and I can understand it being extremely tough.
Yeah, I honestly believe that the government should be funding more help for veterans that have gone out, because there's a lot that have PTSD. There's a lot that end up killing themselves. They kill their loved ones, and it's not that they want to do that. It's just they can't deal with reality because they're so traumatized from things that they went through. And I believe that the government should fund that. And there's actually a therapy called neurofeedback. And the thing I love about neurofeedback, I'm a huge proponent for that because I've actually done it myself. You are able to process things that you've been through trauma-wise, and your brain is processing it while you're doing it, but you're not actually having flashbacks, and you don't know what your brain is processing. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't think about it like that. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I wish that that was more well known to a lot of veterans, because I feel like it would save a lot of lives.
Well, I'm not going to get too political, but I mean, hopefully with the new administration or whatever happens, I hope that actually gets more support along the way.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But that's all I really got. Thank you so much for this interview. It was awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.